Hey everyone, welcome to a video for Epic Spell Wars of the Battle Wizards. Any games from this series will contain explicit content, gore, sexual content, violence, language, all the bad stuff that you're not supposed to like or enjoy. So if that stuff offends you, please turn off the video now. Again, there is a warning for awesome, mature content and profanity. Any of these videos in this series will have these. There is no way around it in showing off the content. Therefore, again, if this stuff offends you at any point or before you watch the video, please turn it off rather than complain about it. That is your final warning. Thank you. Bye. Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to the Epic Spell Wars of the Battle Wizards Rumble at Castle Tentakill. This is the second set. So these are, of course, all standalone games, so you can pick them up, play. They are potentially mix and matchable, but each game has their own set of little rules. If you want to know more about how the actual game played, I have a link in the description of another video I did where I go through the basics of the game. So I don't have to spend time doing it here, but we will go through the brand new stuff. The next thing they're going to add is the blood mechanic. So in the game, we're going to have our regular, we'll have our character, such as Angelica here, and we'll have our normal health trackers, which will keep track of how much health we take. Then what we have is a brand new component, which are the blood counter. Sorry for not having a great way of showing this off, but this will keep track of as you gain blood. Every time you defeat an opponent, you gain 3 blood. Then blood is used to pay various costs. It'll be something on a card that'll say pay a number of blood, somewhere between 1 and 8. Sometimes it's an X, which means you can pay as much as you want. If it says pay 5 blood, I pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there we go. Now if I don't have 5, for example, if I'm at 3 here and it says pay 5, I can't pay 5, I can't use that blood cost. But it's just an additional ability that lets you play it, such as Raw Hydra here says pay 4 blood to deal 7 damage to each foe. So the card normally just does 3 damage, but I can also pay that additional cost. It's not something I have to do, it's an additional cost I might want to. Now some of them may also be used for paying to keep your creatures around. That's another thing. But Discretion comes with some special rules. It says at the end of each round, the player at Discretion keeps it and gains 1 blood from the pool. So that's kind of cool. You gain extra blood. Alright, so that is what we have for that. So we are going to get 4 dice. We're going to get our 7 Last Wizard Standing tokens. I'm not going to pull all them out, but we'll have our 6 health and our 6 blood trackers. So those are our different regular components as well as the standee. Then we are going to have our wizards. Whoops. Whoops. And she fell down. Alright, so I'm just going to show this side because the other sides are basically the same. So we have Angelica, Angel Face of the Angelic Angel of Misery. So that's a mouthful. Yeah, they haven't started. I think after this set, then they start changing the symbols on there. We have Cuddle Wizard, Sir Kitty Purrington. So you want to play as a fluffy kitty. We have the Fuking Dragon Lord. He's double fingers up. He's an old Chinese dragon. We have Granny Flufferbutter, the sweetest witch, with her candy commandos down there. Gumstick bombs, knives, swords. It's hilarious. We have Manly Banger Rock God. He's got a satanic guitar there. And again, these guys don't do anything per the regular game. We have Methion, the Wizard of Speed. Of course, he's a meth addict. We have Rigimortis, the Bone Lynch. I like that his wand is his hand. That's hilarious. He's like an old D&D style character too. This is really funny. And then finally we have Skullzor, the giant skull with acid blood mouth. Definitely a cool giant flaming skull with wings. You can't argue with that. I don't know how he holds his wand though. Maybe these little grippy hands up here on top of his wings. Definitely cool. So those are our new Wizard Champions. So they're not called that in the instruction book, but that's what they're later referred to as in the game. Alright, then we of course are going to get our 8 wild magic spells, which look exactly like the ones from set 1, all the other sets. Then let's hop in and look at our cards. Alright, so we're going to start with the primals. So there are 2 of each copy. I'm not going to pull up 2 of each, obviously, because we'll be here forever. Try and get this glare out of here if I can. Pause again. Alright, that should get rid of that glare, sorry. We have Goldilocks Woodstocky Landshark here. We have Goldilocks says, choose a foe. That foe gives you a creature from their hand. Add it to your spell. If that foe does not give you a creature, deal 1 damage to them. So there's already our first instance of working with creatures. Woodstocky, discard up to 3 non-primal cards in your hand. Deal 1 HP for each card you discard. So that's definitely cool. And then Land Shark. Target foe with standee. Roll for power. 1 to 4, 1 damage. 5 to 9, 2 damage, and you take the standee, and 10 plus 5 damage, and you keep the standee. And that will have that creature, primal creature at the bottom. So this is kind of like, so that's when it started a little bit interesting, because like, if someone doesn't have the standee yet, which pretty much most of the time someone's going to have one, but if for some reason it's like maybe the first turn of the game, or the round or match or whatever, this wouldn't really do anything. But yeah, definitely could keep him and play that. So it's actually really cool, different effects. Alright, let's pop up the next 3. So we have Raw Hydras, Attack-a-Lanch, Sex Squatch. Raw Hydra source is deal 3 damage to your strongest foe. Pay 4 blood, deal 7 damage to each foe with a Last Wizard standing token. So that guy should be really helpful to make up some stuff in the back. And then we have Attack-a-Lanch. Deal 1 damage to the foe on your right, 2 damage to the foe on their right, 3 damage to the foe on their right, and so on. So you damage each foe once. Pay 2 blood to double the dealt damage. So yeah, with both of them, like if you play them like really early on before you have any blood, they're okay, they're decent. But if you get that blood, they're definitely a lot more powerful. And then we have Sex Squatch. Target 1 foe who already acted this round. And then roll power, 2 damage, 3 damage or 4 damage, and 1 damage to each other foe and keep. So you have an initiative of 8 on here, so it's very possible everyone's acted already. And if it is, then you get to choose which one if multiple have. So it's kind of a fun little extra thing. I like the way they're keeping these, like, you know, like, this is a bunch of these games. So it's nice that each time they have different ways to do it. It's not just always just foes on your left or just foes on your right. Alright, the next set of primal is we have Gonzo's Shroom Pushes, Harvesting Baron Squirrelington. Gonzo does roll one die and heal that much HP. Reaction: if you die before this card resolves, discard it to reset your HP to 1 instead. You didn't die. So that's definitely a helpful guy to have around. Harvesting. Take the standee and deal 1 damage to each foe for every dead wizard. If there are no dead wizards, gain 2 blood. And then Baron Squirrelington. Target foe with the most blood. Roll for power. 1 to 4, no effect. 5 to 9, 2 damage and 4 damage, and heal 2 HP and keep. So far, all of them have been in the 10, but that could just be a thing for the primal characters. Hey, you really want to keep them? Roll high. What is also interesting, you look at his, so Baron Squirrelington has an 18. We just had Sasquatch has 8, so that wants you to attack last. That's where Gonzo would work really well with him, because if you're being forced to go out, you have a better chance of that reaction happening. And our last set of primal cards are Baitinus the Butcher's Pollinating Cockatrice. So Baitinus the Butcher has heal 1 HP for each creature in play. Pay X blood, heal X additional HP. Well, that's actually fun though, because you can have up to potentially 25 blood, so you could use this card and you could easily heal. But the thing is, you have to pay that X before the card does anything. So it's when you play the card, you have to pay it at that point. So you have to know how many creatures are in play when you flip it. Reveal the card from the pollinating. Reveal cards from the main deck until you find a creature. Then add it to your spell. Standee. Add 2 creatures instead. Ooh, that could be very powerful. And then Cockatrice. Your strongest foe. Roll. So this is again, it's a 1 to 4. You get to keep him. And then 2 damage or 4 damage. So all 4 cards in the end are all creatures. There's a lot of creatures in this set. I know some of the other Epic Spell Wars sets do have creatures, but I don't think they have them as numerous. That's one reason why mixing and matching some of the sets could be very potential. Alright, let's jump to our next glyph. We have the Illusions, the blue. These ones always have some fun, interesting effects. So we have ADHDs, Even Stevens, and Pimped Imps. So ADH has Take the Standee. If you are taking it from a living foe, deal 3 damage to a different foe. It's just one way to get the Standee. Even Steven, roll 2 dice, deal damage equal to the lowest result to a foe of your choice. Pay 2 blood, deal the other result to a different foe. And then Pimped Imps, weakest foe, roll for power. All foes heal 1 HP, 3 damage, and then keep it, or 5 damage, and each other foe heals 1 HP. Yeah, so this is kind of a weird, tricky one, because it's the 3 damage and keep is really nice. If you go too much, 5 damage isn't bad, but healing everyone 1, or either one, healing 1's not terrible, but it's not always the best either. Alright, our next illusions is we have try to get these back over so you guys can see them all. Wiz Sleeve Steve's Lowballing Bob. So Wiz Sleeve says deal 1 damage to any foe. Reaction: if you die before this card resolves, you have a creature in the spell, reveal the creature, it takes damage instead of you. You didn't die. So not maybe as good as Gonzo's, but definitely not a bad thing either. Especially in this, because all your sources are creature, or all your deliveries are creatures, so you're always gonna have one unless you didn't play a delivery. Lowballing: a foe of your choice who does not have a treasure draws a treasure, then deal 2 damage to each foe with a treasure. And then Bob. Target foe with the most blood. Roll for power, steal 1 blood from the target. 1 damage and steal 1 blood from the target, or 4 and steal 1 blood. Get 1 blood and keep him. Interesting. Alright, our next set of illusions is Visha Visasmack's Gifty Tentakiller. Visha, so add 1 card from your hand to the spell. If you have the standee, add 2 cards instead. Definitely powerful. Gifty, add a delivery from your hand to your spell. Pay 4 blood. Reveal a card from the main deck until you reveal a creature. Add it to your spell. So this could potentially add a lot of extra cards. And then Tentakiller, target 1 foe with no creatures in play. Roll power 1 damage, 2 damage and keep, or 3 damage and steal a treasure from the target. Cool. So with that other one, you use that other one to give them a thing and then potentially steal it from them. It's a Tentakill. Then with the first 2 there, add 1 card from your hand to this spell, or add 2. So you potentially add 2 more cards, and if you have Gifty, you add a 3rd card, paid 4 blood, you could add a 4th card. And then depending on what card you added, this could ramp up to be a very big spell. Now some people might be like, oh, that's abusive though, you get this. Yeah, it is, but that's the fun part of the game. Because now if I played all these, let's say I did this, most case scenario is maybe I'll play enough extra cards, I will have 1 target foe, and I will kill 1. Worst case scenario, I guess, is I kill everybody else. The round's over. Now, what are the chances I'm going to draw this again? That exact combination of cards, right? And then if you do it your next turn, are you going to be bitchy that, I did it on my turn? Type of idea. No, it's great. It makes a game like this. It's a game about killing each other, so being abusive is definitely the thing you want to do. We have Starklick the Unmaker, Colonializing, and Fart Knight. Starklock deals 2 damage to your strongest foe, pay 3 blood, add a random card from your hand to your spell. Colonializing, choose 1, either deal 2 damage to the foe with even HP or 3 damage to each foe with odd HP. Standee, do both, first even, then odd. So that's actually kind of cool. And then Fart Knight. Pay 2 blood. You may resolve each of your power dice individually or against different foes. Interesting. So, target foe of your choice, roll for power. 1 damage, keep. 5 to 9, 2 damage, or 10 plus 4 damage. So that's actually kind of interesting. So if you're rolling, let's say you played this set here and you gotta roll 3 dice, you could choose to roll all 3 against 1 foe, which would really get you that 4 damage, probably. Or you could choose to roll all 3 dice against separate things, which would get you your 1 damage, but would let you keep them. So basically you can opt to almost keep this guy with doing less damage to somebody else. Or you can do 1 to 1 person to keep them, and then 2 dice to somebody else. So it's kind of a neat little gimmick. Alright. Up next, our next glyph is Elemental, the fire, the red. Destruction stuff, usually. We have Burning Bangers, Mother Forking, Rocking Roller. Burning Bangers, choose 1, either take the standee or deal 1 damage to each foe, or deal 3 damage to a foe who does not have the standee. Pay 3 blood to do both. Mother Forking. They're pies and forks. It's hilarious. I was thinking Burning Banger is like a big lighter, like Jing, almost. And then he also has a lighter in his hand. So Mother Forking. Take the standee, give it to a foe who doesn't already have it. Then deal 3 damage to that foe. Pay 3 blood. Kill all that foe's creatures first. So that's fun, because you can kill all their creatures by paying 3 blood. Then they can't negate that 3 damage. And then Rock and Roller, strongest foe, 1-2 damage or 1d6 damage, and then keep it. So that could be potentially 1 damage, could be 6 damage. And you'll notice he's made out of dice. So that's actually kind of interesting as well. Gotta love the artwork on these cards. Alright, our next set of elementals are Tentakill Volcano's Sparkling Dragon. So we have Tentakill says, give your strongest foe 1 blood if you have any, and then deal 1 die of damage to them. Standy, deal 1 die of damage to a different foe. So that's kind of cool. That person is very wide to be standing on both sides of that mask. Sparkling, deal 1 damage to a random foe. Standy, then deal 2 damage to a different foe. Which I'm not sure if the different foe has to be random or you get to choose. And then Dragon, because he's smoking a cigarette, he's dragging on it. Target foe who already acted this round. 1 damage, 3 damage, or 3 damage, and 3 damage to each foe with the last winner standing token and keep. So those are fun, different ones. Our next set of elemental. Ooh. I threw one way over there. Is we have Mr. Nukeon's Fusion, Burn-Curting, and Berserker. So Nukeon says deal 2 damage to the foe on your right. Reaction, if you die before this card resolves, deal 1 damage to the player who killed you. So far there's been a reaction, at least 1 reaction on each source. The Berserking? Could be Berserking, like Berserking, but burn. Choose a foe of your choice must reveal their hand. Then take damage equal to twice the number of creatures in their hand. Pay 3 blood, choose a foe instead. And then Berserker. Target 1 foe who does not have the standee. Roll for power. 1 damage, 2 damage, or 3 damage, or 6 damage if the target is the last foe, and then keep. Awesome. And then our last set of elementals is we have the Flaming Prince's Inflammerating Bung Burner. So the Flaming Prince says deal 1 damage to each foe. Pay 5 blood to deal 5 damage instead. Inflammerating, the player with the standee takes 4 damage. If no living wizard has the standees, all players take 4 damage. Pay 6 blood, the player with the standee takes 8 damage, and the player to his left and right each take 4 damage. Now, keep in mind, you could be the player to the left and right, because it doesn't say foe. Bung Burner, target foe with the most blood. Roll for power 2 damage, 3 damage, or 4 damage, and keep. Very, very simple. Cool. Alright, our next glyph is the dark, the black. Mythgurgle's Leechop's Engraving Mecha Satana. So Mythgurgle's says the foe to your left must give you 2 blood or take 3 damage. Their choice. Engraving. Discard any number of cards from your hand that are the same type. Source, quality, delivery. Deal damage equal to the number of cards in your discard. You discard to a foe of your choice. Pay 4 blood, double the amount of damage dealt. So this is the second type of card that had you discard certain cards from your hand, which is cool. And then Mecha Satana, weakest foe, deals 1 damage, 2 damage, and you take 1 damage. Or 4 damage and deal 2 damage to your strongest foe to keep him. Very interesting. Like he's shooting out a pitchfork. Alright, our second set of dark cards Our Queen of the Dead's Infernal Lucky's Shub Niggurath. So Queen of the Dead says deal 2 damage to each foe who already acted this round. Reaction: if you die before this wizard resolves, draw 2 extra dead wizard cards. Infernal Luckies. Each foe must roll 1 die. The highest rollers gain 1 blood and then take damage equal to their roll. Standy: if each other foe takes damage equal to their roll. Cool. And then Shub Niggurath, to go with our Cthulhu that we had before. Another ancient one here. So target foe is already active this round. Pay 1 blood. Add 1 die to each of your creature's power rolls this turn. Roll 1 to 4, no effect. 5 to 9, 1 damage. And then 10 plus 2 damage and play another creature from your hand and keep. So that's cool. You pay extra die, so it's helpful if you don't play a lot of the same color. Alright, our next set of dark. Is we have Dr. Gravelovers, Sadistic, Carnivorous Clowns. Dr. Gravelover, take the standee, pay 1 blood, deal 2 damage to each foe for each last wizard standing token in play. Sadistic, deal 3 damage to your strongest foe. If they block a creature, gain 1 blood. And Carnivorous Clowns. Target foe with the most creatures in play. 1 to 4, take 1 damage. 5 to 9, kill one of the target's creatures, then do 3 damage. And then 10 plus, deal 4 damage and keep. I like, he's making a balloon animal out of his intestines. That's crazy. Alright, then our last set of dark. We have the Pain Demons, Autoerotic Facula. The Pain Demon, which is of course a Hellraiser reference. Roll 2 dice. Use 1 die to deal damage to a foe on your left. Use a second die to deal damage to yourself unless you have the standee or you pay 1 blood. Autoerotic, deal 1 damage to each foe, pay 1 blood. Choose a foe, they take damage equal to your blood and take damage equal to their blood. You take damage equal to their blood. It's actually a very interesting one to do because if you have a lot and you choose a foe that has very little, you can do some serious damage, but maybe, end of the game, calculate, hey, I can take a bunch of extra damage, till the last guy. And then Facula, which is Fat Dracula. Pay 1 blood to keep. Strongest foe, and then 1, 2, or 4 damage. So he's the easiest guy to keep around. And then we're going to hop into our last glyph, which is the Arcane, which is the purple. So we have the Sly Rollers, Nonchalant, Spider Monkey. The Sly Roller has roll 1 die, 1 to 2, take the standee, 3 to 4, draw a treasure, 5 plus, do both. Reaction: if you die before this card resolves, draw a treasure and play it at the start of the next game. Then Nonchalant, roll 1 die and gain that much blood. If you roll a 4 or less, your weakest foe heals that much HP. So it's a calculated risk. And then Spider Monkey, foe on your right, deal 1 damage, deal 2 damage or 4 damage, and you gain 1 blood and keep. Very interesting. He's popping out of his head. Alright, our next set is Muchiga Magic Missiler's Grub-Giggling Hand of God. Just Hand of God to go with the opposite. We have the Satan card. Will Hex for food. Muchiga Magic Missiler says each foe who has already acted this round must give you 1 blood. Each foe who has not already acted takes 2 damage. Grub Giggling. The foe on your left must give you an arcane card from their hand or give you one of their treasures. Standing. Repeat the effect for the foe on your right. Ooh, that's crazy. The thing is, if they don't have an arcane card or a treasure card, then you've kind of wasted it. I guess it's a risk you might have to. You can tell if they at least have a treasure card, I guess. Hand of God, the foe with the most treasures. Deal 1 damage, 3 damage, and target foe must destroy one of their treasures, or 7 damage. He's gonna smite you for worshipping false idols. Alright, our next set of arcane. Grizz Global's Greedy Bitch Witch. Grizz Global has deal 3 damage to the foe on your left. Pay 2 blood, deal 3 damage to each foe instead. Greedy. You got 2 treasures. Each foe is not active this round and draws 1 treasure. Pay 2 blood. Each foe is active this round must destroy 1 of their treasures. And then Bitch Witch, target foe with the most blood. Deal 1 damage, 2 damage, and that foe loses 1 blood, or 3 and that foe loses 2 blood, and keep. So she's gonna get your blood. And then our final set of arcane and our final spell cards, and then we'll look into the other types of cards, are Sir Mix-a-Little's Cashed In Jelly Square. So Sir Mix's a Little's. Scoot that over a bit so we can read that. It says, choose a card type, source, quality, delivery. Each player passes all cards of that type from their hand to the left, then takes damage equal to the number of cards passed to them. Pay 4 blood, double the damage dealt. So this could be very helpful if you have a lot in your hand, but then again it could bite you. So it's risky to use, but that's the fun of the game. Cash gain. Gain a treasure, and each foe without a treasure gains 1. Pay 8 blood, then deal 2 damage to each foe for each treasure in play. And then Jelly Square, which is our gelatinous cube. Says, foe on your left, 2 damage, 3 damage, or 4 damage. You draw a treasure and keep it. Alright, so that's all our cool cards. Then we'll take a look at the dead wizards and treasures. Alright, we have our dead wizard cards. These are the cards that gain us bonuses when we die. So we're going to start off with Grave Terrain, which would be Riggy Mortises. Card, they don't, again, they don't necessarily aren't tied to them. They're just the graves of these wizards from the set, but they'll work for anybody to get them. So Grave Terrain we are going to have 2 copies of. So it says, resolve now, take the standee. If you have the standee at the end of the round while dead, gain 4 blood instead of 1. So that's kind of cool, getting some extra blood there. Our next one is going to be Exsanguination, which is Methions. Resolve now, steal 1 blood from each living wizard. So these are kind of cool. We got some that are like acting right away. So we have 3 copies of that one. Our next one is going to be Just Reward, which is Granny Flupper Butters. It says, resolve now. For every last wizard standing token in play, gain 1 blood. If you don't have any last wizard standing tokens, start the next game with a treasure. All our little guys are laying on their grave. And we're going to get 3 copies of that one as well. Our next one up is Pet from Beyond for Sir Kitty Purrington. And we will have 3 copies of this one. So it says, at the start of the next game, reveal cards from the main deck until you find a creature. Start the game with that creature face up and play and discard the rest. It's a little ball of yarn, and I just love the little aesthetics on these cards. Alright, up next we have the Lingering Curse for the Fucking Dragon Lord, and we're going to get 3 copies of that one as well. The winner of the last wizard standing token last game starts the game with 2 fewer cards. So it's kind of funny because this one's like the FU, which is his whole deal, to whoever won the game. So instead of benefiting you. But his dragon's still alive. Alright, our next one is Zaporama. Skullgores. This is probably the one that's like the hardest to figure out for him. Yes, there's a skull with some eyes on there. You kind of see, I guess, the rocks in the background. He does have the wings and the lightning. But, yeah, it took me, like, I had to, like, almost pick this one out last. So, yeah, when you resolve the first spell the next game, add the top card of the main deck to your spell. It's a wild magic card. Put it in your hand and add the next card to your spell. Ooh, that's crazy. And then we're going to get 3 copies of that one as well. Then not our last one, we have 2 more. Last 2 we have Classy in Repose for Manly Banger God Rocker. Resolve now, gain 2 blood. If you're the first wizard killed this game, gain 2 additional blood. And we're going to get 4 copies of that one. And then the final one is we're also going to have 4 copies of our Hounds from Hell for Angelica Angelface. So it says, keep this card in front of you until you make a power roll with a creature. Add 1 die to that power roll. It's kind of cool. She takes control of just to do stuff with creatures. Those are our different dead wizard cards. Alright, then the final cards we have to go through are, of course, the treasure cards, which have the same backs as the other ones, so you could always mix and match them. So you could mix it in with another set. I would be careful on what you just mix together because, again, this set, like, compared to, like, at least the first game that came out, you know, maybe not going to compare it to the other games necessarily, but, like, one of the different versions is this one has the blood and the creatures. So if you're not playing another set that uses blood and or creatures, or you don't mix cards in there that have a lot of those, some of these cards won't be as, same thing with the dead wizard cards, they won't be as effective. Like the Skandies are in every game, so they're going to be pretty effective no matter what. But not every set has creatures, not every set uses blood. So you kind of want to watch that. So you have Dr. Shrinky's Couch. When you play a wild magic, reveal cards until you find 2 cards of the type you're looking for and add them both to your spell. Nice. Dead Man's Switch. When you're the sole target of a foe's spell, you may pay 3 blood. If you do, switch the target to another foe, but not the wizard attacking you. Cheater's Dice, reroll any ones you roll with power rolls. Idol of the Magic Pussy. Take the Skandie. Whenever you score blood for having the Skandie at the end of the round, gain 1 additional blood. Double-Headed Ding Donger. When you use a card to attack, a card or attack that goes left, you can choose to go right instead, and vice versa. If you reverse one direction on a card, reverse them all. Wolf Cookie. Whatever way your creature deals damage to a power roll, add 1 to that damage. Now, I'm not sure if this is specifically a reference to anything. It just makes me laugh because there's a giant, like, monstrous werewolf demon guy eating a cookie. And we have the I Can't Believe This Shit shield. Each time a foe draws a dead wizard card, roll 1 die. If you roll 5 or 6, heal 1 HP. The FU Souk. If you're the weakest wizard at the end of the round or tied, heal 2 HP and draw a treasure. Manual Decryptic Zoic, because Cryptic Zoic, of course, is the company that makes the game. I'm not sure about the giant spike on the cover. That seems very dangerous. During each of your turns, you may reroll a creature's power roll. Stick with your reroll even if it's worse. Glutton's Regalia. When you gain this treasure, choose a source, quality or delivery from your hand. Put it slightly under this card, count that card's glyph as each of your spells. This is kind of neat. So the base game we had separate gave one card that gave an extra glyph. This works as like one that can do anything. The golden handcuffs. When you're the last wizard acting around, draw a treasure card. This guy's a little bit too happy to have fish hands. When you're the first player to act in a round, swap this treasure for any treasure belonging to a foe. The Globe of Sacrifice. Pay 2 blood to reroll 1 die. Monster Baby. When you gain this treasure, deal 1 damage to each wizard, including you, then gain 2 blood for each wizard who has 5 or fewer HP. Pay 4 blood, deal 2 damage to any foe. The First Loser Trophy. If your death ends this game, you gain 3 blood. Pay 1 blood to heal 1 HP, used only once per round. Snurd's Rage. Pay 3 blood to gain 2 HP. Triangle-shaped orange chips. Oh, they'll go great with the nacho chips from the later set. Gang Bang-Along. Pay 2 blood, deal 1 damage to target foe. For every 5 hit points they have, i.e. a foe with 14 HP takes 2 damage. The Sausage Master Steed. Each time you roll 13 plus with a power roll, gain 1 blood. The Naughty List. Gain 1 additional blood each time you slay a foe. Most Wanted Poster. Stinky Pete. Place this treasure in the center of the table, then discard another and draw another treasure. The next player to slay a foe discards this card and gains 3 blood. The Triple Barrel Shotgun. Break 3 matching glyphs in your spell, gain 1 blood. Codpiece of Cthulhu. At the start of each turn, each of your turns, steal 1 blood from any one foe. Steroids. After resolving a creature component of your spell, you may pay 3 blood. If you do, keep your creature instead of discarding it. Fate Coins. When you get this treasure, name the next wizard you believe will be slain. If you're correct, gain 2 blood, even if you guessed yourself. And then finally, our last card is Grabble Snack 6-Headed Tapeworm. If you're tied for initiative with other players, you may pay 1 blood. If you do, break the tie and resolve your spell first. Alright, so that is what we have for Epic Spell Wars. Rumble at Castle Tentakill. You can see all our fun favorite people on the cover now. Creatures beating each other up while the spells are casting them from the side. Yeah, definitely some new interesting concept with the creature and the blood. I know for sure creatures return. I don't think blood returns in any other set. But it's still something definitely you can mix and match all these games together. You know, play some epic long ones. And then, just to add on there, with set 6, Anarchic Arena, they've changed up the rules a bit. So that there's no longer game rounds. When you die, you don't gain a Dead Wizard card. They changed it, so now you gain Dead Wizard tokens, much like the deck building game. So therefore, when you die, you just restart up right away. So it does change how, if you're mixing that with this game, it's going to change how some of them rules work. But it could also make for some very interesting stuff, because you don't have to worry about your creatures going away at the end of a round and stuff like that. You can keep them a little bit. You only have to try and rush to use them sometimes. Blood sticks around for a lot longer. So therefore, if you're not getting them as often, because if you're saying, instead of saying, oh, we're playing 3 rounds, because then someone wins 3 times, they win the game, you might be playing a lot more. So even if you draw cards that do blood less, with that type of rule, it might be worth it because you'll stick around, hang on, go longer, so it might be a good surprise attack. I'll have to see how it all works once you get the game and get into it. Alright, that's all I got for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Check out the rest of them. See you later. Bye.